Hello, this is Spoo again doing another video. This message is the title will be God's Justice, Human Corruption, and the Faithful Obedience of Noah. Because we're living in some times here, and a lot of many, not all, but many preachers are not going to teach what needs to be taught. So anyway, you get the context out of Genesis 6 1 through 22. First Enoch 6 and 7, and Book of Jubilees chapter 5 1 through 18. Increasing wickedness in the pre-flood era. Genesis 6 presents a world moral and spiritual decline. Key points include first one, population growth and intermarriage. When men began to multiply on the face of the earth, daughters were born to them. Genesis 6 1 through 2. Second point is the sons of God and daughters of man. And interpretations vary. Some see that the Sentinel descents, others as fallen angels, quote unquote, supported the Book of Enoch and Jubilees. The angelic view of the Reformed by Enoch 6 2 through 6, where 200 angels descended on Mount Hermon to take wives among women, swearing oaths to pursue this act. Third point, resulting corruption, human wickedness and unrestrained sin, leading to violence and defilement. Genesis 6 5 through 12. The book, the book of Enoch elaborates that these unions produce the Nephilim, giants whose deeds were mighty men of renown. Number two, God's response to human corruption. One point is divine grief and judgment. Genesis 6 verse 6 highlights a godly deeply affected by human corruption. Psalmists in prophetic literature echo that God's heart grieves over sin. Second point, limiting human lifespan. Genesis 6 verse 3 mentions 120 years, signaling both restraint and a period for repentance. 120 years. Okay. Third point, plan of renewal. God's commission, Noah, described as righteous and blameless among his contemporaries, to serve as the instrument of preserving the faithful remnant. Number three, Noah as a model of obedience and faith. First point is God's favor. Genesis 6, verse 8 highlights Noah's finding grace in the eyes of the Lord. Second point, command and action. Noah receives presence instruction for building the ark. Genesis 6, 14 through 16, demonstrating that the given guidance includes tangible, actionable directives, even in unprecedented circumstances. Another point, faith in unseen outcomes. Hebrew 11 verse 7 reinforces Noah's faith, preparing an ark before any physical sign of the deluge. Another point, lesson for today, obedience to God requires faith in his renown, not invisible evidence, and challenges us to act courageous against social norms of ungodliness. That word I just said, I didn't pronounce right. It Societal. Number 4, insight from the book of Enoch and Jubilees. Okay. The Watchers and the Nephilim. First, he names the leaders such as Shemjata, Arakabah, and others. Their rebellion introduces forbidden knowledge and corruption. Enoch 6 and 7. That's that 2 chapters there. The purpose of these elaborations, these texts, succeed Genesis narrated, provided cultural and theological context of human angelic interactions. They suggest that the sin can spread through unnatural manipulation of creation. Jubilee's perspective gives a chronological framework emphasizing divine order, covenant continuity, and human accountability. Sin is presented as a divination from divine statutes intended to maintain cosmic order. Number 5 is theological and practical lessons. Awareness of moral corruption. Awareness is not optional. Society patterns often hide evil under normalcy. Normalcy. Genesis 6, verse 5, 11 through 12. God's justice and mercy. God's response balances justice, the flood, with mercy, the preservation of a righteous remnant. Number 3, the faithful obedience as formative. Noah's model steadfast fidelity to God's instructions, offering a paradigm of contemporary believers. Contemporary believers. Okay. Number 4, cosmic and spiritual realities. Acknowledging the broader intelligent and spiritual dimensions as in Enoch underscores responsibilities beyond imminent human perception. Number 5, covenant continuity. God's covenantal promises with Noah renew those previously made with Enoch. Genesis 9, 8 through 17. See JST references. And as we get to number 6, the concluding is righteousness in a corrupt world calls for action. Believers are challenged to withstand sins contrary to God's law, exemplifying integrity even in isolation. Faith shapes legacy, just as Noah condemned the world by faith while securing salvation for his household. Contemporary faithfulness impacts both individual and communal trajectories. Understanding spiritual accountability, Genesis 6, contextualized by Enoch and Jubilees, teaches that sin has spiritual and generational consequences, but God's grace remains accessible to those who walk faithfully with Him. But Noah found favor in God in the eyes of the Lord. Genesis 6, verse 8. Reflect on areas in your life where God calls for unwavering obedience, even when sinner norms undermine it. Consider how faith in action can be separated from demonstrating commitment to God's plan. Using building the ark while the world mocks, analogy to encourage believers to pursue godly projects despite skepticism or ridicule, emphasizing preparedness, trust, and foresight.